Hello, this is Mihai from BT Provider, and today we will talk a bit about dashboards in Tableau and specifically containers. What they are and how can they be used. So, for starters, we have already created 4 worksheets using the sample superstore data source, a public data source, and let's create our first dashboard. Here we have the dashboard being a collection of worksheets, and the worksheets being represented by a visualization or a view. And here we can set our dashboard's size. Let's go with let's say A4 landscape. Oh, okay. So here we have 4 worksheets. We can add a single worksheet by clicking and dragging and dropping it into the dashboard itself. But what will we do when we have multiple worksheets or objects that we need in the creation of our dashboard? Here containers can help us. So let's clear the dashboard like this. And here in the dashboard pane, in the objects part, we have the containers, horizontal and vertical, among other objects that we can use. You can think of containers like windows. Let's say you have 2 windows next to each other. Here you can think of each window as a worksheet and the ensemble itself as a container. The same goes if you have 2 windows, one below the other or above the other, and each window is a worksheet. We can use the same logic here, and I'm thinking of adding worksheets and objects from top to bottom to start with, which means I would need a vertical container. Click, drag and drop here. As a good practice, we will add a blank object in it so we can add our future worksheets or objects more easily. And here in the layout part next to the dashboard, we can see the item hierarchy in the dashboard. So right now it shows us a tiled dashboard which contains a vertical container, and within that vertical container we have our blank object. Let's add a title for this dashboard. We can go into objects. We have here the text. Click, drag and drop it. You can drop it on the left, on the right, top or bottom, and also if I were to drop it here, it would add the text below the container. It creates a new space, a new container next to the other container. We don't want that. We want it within the container we selected, we added. So let's drop it here. Let's name it, for example, sales analysis. Let's set the font coloring to black. The font itself Tableau bold, and size, let's go with 15 for now. So here we have the title. Now we need a horizontal container in which we can start adding our worksheets. So again, here we can see the horizontal container. Click, drag and drop, and we need it below the sales analysis object. As a good practice, again, we will drag and drop the blank container within the blank object within our container. And if we were to go to layout, we will see that we have the vertical container. The vertical container contains, pun intended, the text object that we added, and also the horizontal container, which itself has the blank object that we added. And now that we have two objects or containers within our dashboard, we don't need the third one, the separate blank object. Let's keep it for now, actually. Here we selected the blank object within the container, and if we double click here, this part, it selects the container it's a part of. And here we can edit, click the little thingy here and the arrow, and we can edit height, and let's say 500. And now we can add our worksheets. We will go into the dashboard again, the dashboard pane, and click drag and drop the sales one. I want it on the left. And let's click drag and drop the quantity one on the right. In the middle we will have the blank object that we can remove now. And now we have our two worksheets. If we double click the upper part here, we can select the whole container, and a nifty feature that Tableau has regarding containers is the option to distribute the contents evenly here, which will do as it says. Very useful, especially when you have multiple worksheets in a container. And to double check, we have the vertical container, we have our horizontal container comprised of the sales and quantity per cities. I said before that we can remove this blank object since we have multiple objects or containers in the dashboard, and we will repeat the process for another horizontal container. Again, we will drag and drop a blank object. We will double click the container that we added to set its height to, let's say, 500 as above. Now we will add the remaining worksheets, let's say on the left. And let's say we can add it either to the right or middle. It doesn't matter in our case because the blank one the blank object we can remove. Let's distribute the contents evenly by selecting the container and going to the left clicking the arrow and selecting distribute contents evenly. And because of the fact that one worksheet contained a legend, it automatically added and created a container for it and added within the container. We can go ahead and remove the container as a whole because we don't need it. We can go ahead and delete the container, and here we have it. We have a dashboard containing 4 worksheets and a title, and we have one container, we have another container, both horizontal, and we have the vertical one above them. So that's kind of it regarding the containers and how to use them. Thank you, and see you next time.